You know, in the world of machine learning, you sometimes hear whispers about a secret weapon, an algorithm that's so powerful, data scientists use it to just consistently dominate competitions. Well, that secret weapon is real, and its name is XGBoost. So today, we're going to break down the algorithm that has become the absolute go-to choice for champions. And just to give you an idea of how dominant this thing is, let's just look at the numbers. Back in 2015, on Kaggle, the huge machine learning competition site, a staggering 17 out of 29 winning solutions used XGBoost. I mean, think about that for a second. That's not a trend, that's a straight-up takeover. So, okay, this brings up the big question we're tackling today, right? What exactly is XGBoost, and what is it about this algorithm that gives it this incredible winning edge? Why does it just keep dominating, not only in competitions, but in major industries all over the world? To get started, let's just establish its status as the undisputed champion, especially when you're talking about the kind of structured, tabular data, the spreadsheets and databases that pretty much run most businesses. At its heart, XGBoost, which, by the way, stands for extreme gradient boosting, is a super optimized and highly scalable version of a technique called tree boosting. It was really designed from the ground up to be efficient, to be flexible, and to be portable. And the real key to understanding its power is in that last word, boosting. Yeah, see, you should think of it not like you're building one single perfect model. Instead, imagine you're assembling an all-star team of lots of simpler models, where each one makes the whole team stronger. Okay, so the big idea behind all of this is something called gradient boosting, and the concept is just brilliant. You start with a really simple model, usually a basic decision tree, which we call a weak learner. It makes a prediction, and of course, it's going to make some mistakes. Now, the next tree that comes along doesn't start from zero. Its main job is to focus on and correct the errors that the first one made. And this just keeps happening, over and over, with each new tree learning from the mistakes of the entire team that came before it. The final result is what we call an ensemble of all these trees working together. So to make a prediction for the young boy you see on the left, for example, the first tree gives him a score of +2. The second tree then looks at that and refines it, adding another +0.9. The final prediction? It's simply the sum of those scores, 2.9. It is pure teamwork, where every single tree contributes its own specialized knowledge to get to a much, much more accurate answer. But, you might be thinking, gradient boosting has been around for a while, so what's XGBoost's secret sauce? What are the specific upgrades that it brought to the table that made it so much more powerful than the standard way of doing things? Well, XGBoost introduces several major upgrades over basic boosting. First, while older methods can easily overfit, that's where they basically just memorize the training data instead of learning the real patterns, XGBoost has built-in regularization to stop that from happening. It's also been engineered for insane speed by parallelizing how the trees are built. And finally, and this is a big one, it can handle missing data internally, right out of the box, which is a huge, huge advantage. Let's drill down on that first advantage, regularization. The best way to think about it is like putting guardrails on the model while it's training. It adds a penalty every time the model gets too complex, like if it grows a tree with too many branches, or if the prediction scores get too extreme. This forces the algorithm to build simpler, more robust models, and stops it from getting distracted by noise in the data. And the bottom line? You got a model that performs way better on new data it's never seen before. Now for its second superpower, how it handles missing values. Usually this is a massive headache for data scientists. You have to decide up front, do you fill in the missing data with an average? Do you just drop the entire row? Well, as Tianqi Chen, the creator of XGBoost, puts it, the algorithm is smart enough to just figure it out on its own. And the way it does this is called sparsity-aware split finding. So when the model gets to a decision point, like, is this person's age less than 20, but the age is missing, it doesn't just guess. Instead, during the training phase, it actually learns a default direction for missing values at every single split. It tries sending them left, it tries sending them right, and it figures out which path consistently leads to a more accurate model. This makes it incredibly tough and reliable for messy, real-world data. Okay, so these technical innovations are clearly why it crushes the competition on sites like Kaggle. But how does this all translate from a leaderboard to actual real-world value? Well, it's really this killer combination of safety, speed, and intelligence that makes XGBoost such an industrial strength tool. That built-in protection against overfitting means it's reliable. The raw computational speed means it can chew through massive datasets. And the fact that it automatically handles imperfect data means it just works in the real world. not just in some clean, perfect lab environment. And that is why it delivers state-of-the-art results on some of the most complex problems out there. And believe me, its impact is everywhere. Let's take fraud detection. A bank can use XGBoost to analyze millions of transactions in real time, learning all the subtle patterns of fraud to block a suspicious charge in milliseconds before any damage is done. I mean, from predicting which ads you're going to click to classifying new malware threats and even helping scientists discover new particles at CERN, the applications are just vast. So, if there's one key takeaway, it's this. Even in an age completely dominated by talk of deep learning and neural networks, when it comes to the structured tabular data that runs most of the world's businesses, XGBoost is still the reigning king. Its mix of performance, speed, and raw power is just incredibly hard to beat. Which really leaves us with just one final question. What challenge are you going to solve with it?